Hi everyone! So today's Star from Stash, I was inspired, I think, by this cute little stamp I had picked up on like eBay a couple weeks ago. I think I showed it in a haul, even though it's just like eBay, you know, stuff. And I just love Susie. She's so cute, little Susie. Look at this. And then they have different characters, but really I love the focal look of, you know, just this stamp. It happens to be Susie Zoo, Susie's Daisy, and it was made by Rubber Stampede. I don't think it has a year here, but if I use any other products, I'll have them linked in the description box. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. I love how it says for multicolor stamping, color directly on the rubber with Marvy brush markers, which, yeah, you can definitely do that. I mean, we do that with clear stamps nowadays, or like the way Art Impressions does their amazing like watercolors. You just use like a couple, like a brown and a blue or something, just color the whole thing, and then you can pull those colors out with the water. Or I've shown you that back in the day, probably a couple years ago, and here and there, just coloring like if you want this area a certain color. But again, this is an outline stamp, right? So you're gonna color it in. So even what it's saying here is just a little recommendation. But you guys remember like in the 80s we used like colored pads that had like 3 colors, and you dip into it and then you stamp it, you're like, ooh, it's like pink, purple, and blue, or whatever, you know. And so you have that, but this one doesn't really need to be colored with Marvy markers, or can be really, in a way that's meaningful, you know. But you definitely get Art Impressions it, like I said, you maybe use like a blue and a brown, or dark brown and some other color, and you just put them both on top of each other, you stamp it, and then you use some water to pull that out, maybe it helps you highlight, and then you use other colors, you know, with a brush marker to color it in. I think I'm going to use alcohol ink markers, which were not available back in the day, right? Mostly it was water-based markers, so that'll bring it a little more contemporary. Yeah, this is, you know, oh, how funny. It was $6.49 whenever this person bought this. I wish I had a date on it, to be honest. Does it have one of that at the bottom there? No, I think it just has Susie. Oh, the lady Susie Zoo. What's her name? Susie Stafford? That's why it says SS. She just had the cutest things. Oh my gosh. And look at, and this is licensed under Susie Zoo, San Diego, California. No wonder. When I was little, I used to have a dress with Susie Zoo on it. I always remember that dress. I love it. It's like seersucker, like pink and white stripe, and the top, you know how when you make those little dresses for kids and you kind of cross stitch, or maybe it's like, what's that thing called? Oh my gosh. I was gonna say, not seersucker. It's, where they collect it all and it gets all scrunchy. Let me look it up. Anyway, I didn't have to look it up as soon as I paused. Smocking, right? That cute little smocking, and then this little guy. And then she had like little ruffles, or had little ruffles, and like an overall, you know, buttons, and a little overall kind of way the straps went to the back, you know. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is grab some paper, alcohol ink markers, all that fun stuff, and we'll just try to, you know, bring this into nowadays somehow. All right, I'll be right back. So one of the first things we can do, you know, I was gonna do this just in a hybrid ink, but VersaFine, maybe I'm heat embossed, so we'll kind of pop it a little bit. So let's do that. This is marker paper though. And I have an A2 size card here. Again, A2 is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4, and a cute piece of just yellow like tonic paper. I think this one's called Marigold something or other. I feel like it has 2 names, maybe. And it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so just smaller than my card base. Now, of course, we can, you know, emboss this. I think, you know, it has texture already, so I'll probably just leave it the way it is. I just love the little color of like the yellow. Hopefully that'll make her pop a little bit. And so let me put this on here, get the magnets going and all that, and I'll be right back. Clearly I'm not thinking. We don't need this, because what's the point? This isn't going to stick to this. I can't really. It's not a cling mount. It's already mounted. So let's not do that. We're just going to stamp it, and hopefully because it's red rubber, it'll just stamp nicely. And I will want to like probably oval die cut this or something, and then, or circle. I don't know. We'll see. So for now, let's just get this inked up. Probably the first time in a very long time for this little guy. I can see her little shoe at the bottom needs a little more ink. And let's just go for it. And then if I need to do it again, I'll do it again. Now we can use a stamp positioner. I just don't think I need it for this one. I'm just gonna make sure, hopefully, and you know what? I didn't even use like a rubber mat underneath, because that also helps. There we go. Oh, it's perfect. Of course it is. Oh my gosh, look at her little shoes. Even the little glint in her shoe is etched in here. I don't know if you can see, like right here. Where is it? Like right there. And you can see that is what's left over here, so it just looks shiny. So cute. I was gonna say we're gonna let that dry. No, we're not gonna let that dry. We want to heat emboss it right away, actually. So clear embossing powder. And VersaFine takes a minute to dry anyway, so doesn't have to be right away. But let's just make sure. I did not, as you saw, I did not use an embossing buddy because I got all forgetful of what I was doing, basically. Let's put this over here. Oh, this isn't gonna help. I was like, let me get a small piece of paper, like a thin paper, and I have some thick paper here. Something to help me funnel this back in. So that might not work, but that's okay. You know what? Maybe I can just funnel it back in from here. No, I'll just pour it on here better. Okay, very good. It all looks embossed because it has like a kind of hazy look to it. And with your heat embossing, when you come in with your heat tool, just see if it still has some stuff on it. Sure it does. Look at, oh my goodness. As soon as you see it turn from dull, like it is right now, to like shiny, just move on. Just keep moving on. You don't want to stay in one place too long because it'll end up melting into your paper. It's a really weird thing. So I'll be back. So I pulled out a bunch of new Nuvo colors, some from Diamond Press as far as alcohol ink markers, and I need to laminate these guys. These are like these swatches they did. Funny enough, I really wanted this color. Which one? Hay Bale. I cannot find it. And obviously I had it at some point because I colored it here because I thought those two would look really good together. I also have Tonic Nuvo like colorways, I guess, color families. So fragrant oranges, you know, is honeycomb, butternut squash, spice orange, or sunshine yellows happen to be lemon drops, bright sunflower, Indian saffron. So those will help me. But when I saw this, I thought, oh, I want those. And funny enough, those two are in the same color family on one of these guys. I just couldn't find it. So I'm like, okay. So I kind of played around and made my own combination there. I'll probably make it look like what she's going on here, you know, kind of getting some inspo from it. I want to be very careful with her little face. This is, you know, it's a small image, so like I don't want to overpower it with too much. But her beak is also more of a darker orange, and her little legs, right? So what I'm going to do is maybe start with that. So spiced orange is like a darker orange. And what I'm going to do, oh my gosh, you guys, it has been like gusting wind. I think it might be hailing right now, unless it's just the branches hitting my window, but and by branches I mean palms, palm leaves. Anyway, I'm gonna start with this darker one. I'm just gonna come in here. I love having embossed this because it just like wants to fall in that little channel. So a little darker orange, and then I'll bring the butternut squash, which is the darkest of what I was doing over here, and kind of pull that through. So it's just a little bit of something, right? This is a very small image, not the biggest deal. And I'll just come through and blend that in. So I didn't do anything in the very center, and I'm sorry if my camera's picking up everything very blue, but that's just what it's doing right now. Okay, so there's that. And then I picked a little red, it's kind of deep, fresh watermelon for her little mouth on the inside there. And then I want to be very careful. So the purple, she has a purple band in her hair. So this is eggplant medium. This little piece right here should be eggplant colored. And then the rest is going to be like yellow orangey. I am doing it a little bit backwards because it's just so fine, you know, it's so small. So again, the darkest orange is butternut squash that I'm using here. I'm going to kind of bring it in like this, just on the very edge. You know? So I'm just pulling it in from her little hairs. Her hair? Feathers, I suppose. Her little down, maybe. And maybe in her little hands. Okay, so just a little something. And then I'll go into the next darkest, which is, or next lightest from the darkest one, which for me is Indian saffron. I'm going to pull some of that in. Just a little bit. Just bringing that in here. Back over little hands. And then I'll bring in the lightest one, which is bright sunflower. And again, I'm not a colorist, you guys. This is just me thinking this is the best way to do this. I don't know. So I usually start with the darker and kind of pull it back in, skipping that purple area. And I'm just going to blend everything together with this lightest color. Just coloring right over everything else. And that is my interpretation of this little sweetie done in alcoholic markers, because again, back in the day it was literally markers. Wet markers, white, like not white markers, that's not quite it, wet markers. Okay, and then if I leave anything white, I like to use some blue, so I'll take the bullet of this, and this one is a little bit deeper than I would like, but this is Sapphire Light, and I'll just kind of go into her little socks and add a little blueness, and then maybe in her little sleeves here, just so it doesn't look like I forgot it. It's just, you know, white. So there's that. Oh man, she has a little collar back here that you can add a little to, and her little sleeve, and this bow. You know, in the picture the bow is basically white also, so if you want to, you know, add a little color to that or make it your own color, right? I'm just kind of getting some inspo from that. Okay, we have a little bit of yellow in her little buttercup here of the flower, so I'll just add a little something, maybe a little something more. Of course you can come in with, like, let's say this darker orange. You want to add some speckles in here just to add a little more texture. Pink flower. I did grab rose medium and pink light, and those are different color families, and I have rose dark here. I'm just gonna play with them that way. So let's just start in here, and again, there's not, if you look at this, there's not any shading on this, right? Because it's old school, like back in the day. Again, just colored it and you were happy, and you know, all that. So we're doing a little different. So she's gonna look different, the interpretation of our Susie here. So you have that medium, just again start in the center and kind of feather out. And I'm doing this totally different than I normally would. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I do start with the very, you know, light color all the way through. And let's get this guy. This is a light rose or whatever, and I'm just going to blend that all the way out. Now you can definitely make this look more circular, tubular, whatever the word is. Maybe add a little more of the darker colors at the tip so it looks like it's bending. So for right now, I'm just doing some blending with the color. Not my greatest job, I will admit, but it's okay. I'm just adding some of that dark pink back in. I don't know why. I just feel like I needed something. Okay, and maybe, where's the light color again? Blending a little bit of that through. Okay, this is super light color, that's why I can just like go ham with it, as they call it, and it's just fine. Okay, so something like that. And then her purple dress. So I did bring out eggplant, light and medium. So again, what I normally do, I'll take the lightest color. I haven't been doing that this whole time, and just do like half of this and maybe this bottom part. And I mean, it's just so tiny. I mean, really, I don't even know if I can get in there. So a little bit of the lightness, and then I'll do the bullet tip on this one of the medium color and just kind of bring a little color into these bottom areas. Oh, I guess we need a stem too, huh? And in here, just a little something. I mean, this is so small and delicate. Okay, and then let's bring the light back through and just blend it all in through her little dress here, right up in there. And since this area is like the smallest area in the world, her little sleeve, her little, oh, you know, it's funny, it's kind of like the dress that I had, but anyway, the little straps there are so tiny. So I'll try to add a little more color in there. And then this guy can just be blended through. So funny. I mean, just to have such a different look to it, just because of the whole shading thing, right, that we do nowadays. And then her stem here. So I have grass light and medium, I think. Just a little something. So a little in here, a little in there. Maybe going with the medium. Just add a little depth in there, maybe down here. And I'll blend it back through the light. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's our little baby girl. How cute. Okay, let me think about dyes and all that stuff. I'll be right back. Let's see here. We have our card base, which we can go ahead and just stick down now. I am so happy to have these. They're so cute, you guys. Probably should show you the whole collection I picked up. And then, of course, my original ones. Why do I keep dropping my papers recently? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you haven't seen that video yet, but no, in the die and press video I did for the new butterfly collection paper pack or paper pad that's on HSN, completely dropped my paper on the other paper. I knew I was gonna cover up a lot of it, so it wasn't a big deal, and this glue honestly isn't gonna, it just kind of disappears, but that happened to me just yesterday. All right, so there's that, right? Again, definitely run it through embossing folder. It's great. So any of those old school, you know, or designs that you have, or, you know, from last year or whatever, just like a little focal image. Oh, I was like, I need an oval. This one's too big though, but see how well I put those away last time I used them. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, I thought that was my ovals section. It is not. Let's go find them. Where are they? Oh, okay, they're over here. Now I'm thinking about putting like a ruffle around this. So I kind of was going to do a plain oval, but I really do like the look of a scalloped oval. So let's do a scalloped oval and then the ruffle. Now, this is hard for me to tell, like, what looks straight. Oh, you know what? The other thing we can do with her, I suppose, is ground her, huh? Let's, let me grab a blue marker again. I'll be right back. Actually, I can just grab it. Right here. This is just Sapphire Light again. I'm just kind of giving her a little shadow, maybe. Right, I don't know. That pipe isn't the best thing. Just a little something, it's okay. Like, where's the light coming from, you know? I guess I can put it throughout the whole thing, but I feel like maybe if I did that, I should just kind of keep going so it looks like it's going that way. I don't know. Just something so she's not just standing there randomly. Something like that. Okay, so let's see, that looks good. And I brought it up a little bit just so it looks more like something's under her. Hope that makes sense. Oh. I was just thinking, should I pause and edit that? Sorry. Okay, so there's that. And I'll just cut this down and I'll run it through and I will be right back. Let's get our little cutie from here. Oh my gosh, so cute. And I mean, you can pump her up however, but like I said, I kind of want to add a crepe ruffle. So let me grab that and we'll see what that looks like. So I have some of this here. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what I'm, oh, you know what? I was like, maybe if I just make it a big, huge ruffle and then use a die to cut it down afterwards. Should I just do that kind of thing? Maybe, because I know I have a circle die that can go over it. Or an oval die. Okay, let's try that. I'm just going to cut a big long strand too, because I don't know how much of this I'll need, and if it doesn't work I'll just tear it away. And I believe I'm going to put tape all over the back of this to get that done. So let's just see, like if we start here, you know, and just kind of start ruffling it, right? You know what, let's do wet glue. This is gonna be a little messy, guys. Right? Not gonna lie on that one. We'll start here and just start sticking that down, following the shape of the oval as much as we can. To be honest, it's gonna do its own thing anyway, especially if I die cut it. So I'm kind of following that oval. Definitely making this up as I go. I was thinking about folding it in half too, which would have been cute because it'd be extra ruffly, you know. But let's go ahead and stick that down. And I'm just going to keep following. Here you see I'm kind of backing up and then sticking it down. So back up, stick it down, right? And I'll just keep going around doing the same thing. Adding some glue. Back it up, stick it down. Ruffling all around, okay? I'll come back when I get to this other side. Around to the very beginning. And if, you know, they're sticking up like this, I kind of put a little glue and kind of held it down. Just to help that stay. We can also back it up with another die cut. Let me cut this off, just to finish it up. Still giving myself a little bit of length there. And then I'm going to let this dry just a little bit before I really come in. So just finishing this up. Oh, put a little extra glue, that's okay. This reminds me of like when you're little and you play with the like cherry blossoms or cherry blossoms, and it would be little pieces of crepe, little crepe squares. Okay, So I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit. That is so cute, like if it was hanging up or something, right? I mean, that's way too much for my card, but that works out. And again, since this is the first time I was making like an oval shape, otherwise I would just make it a circle in my hand and then stick it on like we do with any other rosette. I just gave it a little chance there. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry just a little bit before I stick it through my, or run it through my die cutting machine, because I don't want all this glue all over the place. So let that dry just a minute and I'll be right back. Judging ovals, and I think it should be like this one, because that'll give us enough ruffle and it'll fit on the card real well. So I'm gonna let that dry again just a little bit longer and I'll be right back. I am gonna go ahead and just cut another one. This is just scrap paper, it's like cream color. I'm just gonna run that same shape through, just so that glue, you know, won't be so obvious when I go to run it through and bother me, you know what I'm saying? Obstructive, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So again, we will just eyeball that. I think that'll be good. Okay, so, and then also I can pop it up on my card base, you know, instead of worrying that this might come away later or something. So I'm just gonna eyeball through here and see where a scallop is. I saw a scallop here and that looked pretty good. I can see one like right there. That looks pretty good. And then we can turn it over and just make sure we're in a good spot, you know. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna leave something heavy on top of this though for a little bit. So generally what that means is I'll take like my cutting folder and I'll put this down, and then I'll pop a marquee on top or my Spellbinders machine on top, and then I'll come back in a little bit. Alright guys, so let's check it out. Oh, I'm telling you, that is such a cute decoration. If you're gonna do that, I would definitely embed like the string or whatever is back in here, you know. How cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have this guy, and again, it is going to cut away a lot of it, and it's going to be very flat looking, but that's okay. It's just, for me, some texture, something different. If you don't want that, then you can cut it in different ways, or just leave it, right? Or make it smaller to begin with. You know, we could have cut this in half, or like I said, I was going to just fold it to begin with, like I do with other rosettes, and then go around and do the thing. I just changed my mind. All right, let's see here. Just turn up and down, left and right. Trying to see what looks about right. And I'm going to tape this down, but I'm going to tape it on the outer portions because I do not want to rip away my hard work when I'm done here, you know? Very hard work. Does this fit in here? Interesting. Let's see. I just trim off this stuff. Otherwise, I'd run it through a larger machine, but if I could just trim this off and it fits, then let's go for it. All right, I'll run that through and I'll be right back. Like butter, and again I tape that to the outer ring. Look how cute. It almost looks like an egg, like great for spring, right? I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay, let me put some dimensionals on the back of this guy, and probably just use these larger square ones, and then I'll take the carriers off and I'll be right back. And I was just thinking, oh, we need like a sentiment. Now you could have definitely stamped something here, or obviously we can add a little piece. Oh, I have all those ones from Spellbinders when I did the foiling. I think it says like have a wonderful day. But I was thinking, I think the size of the ones that I just used in that Hunky Dory set would be a nice size for this. So let me go and see what we have. I think I had a thank you for sure and a couple other things, but like how cute and springy, and just, I mean, she looks so different with all hiding. Now I'm not going to say no one did, you know, what's the word? Shading when you had wet markers. It was just different, you know, so, but as you can see, I mean, she's pretty much flat in this image here. And here she has a little more dimension to her. So cute. Okay, let me go grab those other the other die set, and I'll be right back. I just ran through from this die set, the On Your Special Day, and hopefully that'll work out for us here. How cute. Oh my goodness. Ah. Let's get this guy out of here. Oh. So cute. Oh my gosh. No, let's see. I don't know if that's exactly what I would want it to look like. If I put it like here, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna back it up with at least one other die cut and just cut out of white paper just to make it a little more sturdy, and that way if I hang it off here, it won't be an issue. So I'm just going to run this through another sturdy piece of white paper and then just glue them together. I'm not drop shadowing, I'm just gluing them together, okay? I'll be right back. You know, I'm just like, oh, that would be very cute up there, but then I feel like we need something else down here. Maybe some pearls. But then, you know, I mean, that's kind of typical. I think down here is very cute too. Fine. We'll just put it down this bottom corner. I'll put some glue here. Again, just to make it a little sturdier. And I'm just going to cover up that little SS. And push this up from down here to hold on to the glue, you know. So, actually not that. Where is this? Yeah. I was like, where is that other thing I have? Something like that, just to hold on to the back of the paper, you know. There we go. I'm gonna hold this down, I'll be right back. So I did kind of go like this, and I stuck another dimensional under there. Hopefully you guys can see it right into the ruffle, right into the lettering. That way it'll just help prop it up. And I did mention pearls, and I'm like, you know what, let's go for it. So I have some here. I was gonna go with just pink, but then I saw these little purple ones, or saw these little purple ones. So let's add some of those up here. And maybe a little pink one here. And there. These are all the same size. I didn't go with like a different... and something like that. Of course, I generally add, you know, another set down here, but I think this is good enough for now. Super sweet, you know, just bringing an image from like the 80s, 90s roughly into nowadays, and she's just a little sweetie. I love them so much. And then we have little bear stamps and like some of the other characters. So, so there's that. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully that gave you some idea of just using like a focal image and just doing something fun with it, a little more trendy, you know, however. All right, guys. Well, images are coming up and links are in the description box, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.